Hey, this is Brian with worshiptutorials.com. I have a Helix patch for you that I made just for the song What a Beautiful Name by Hillsong Worship from the Let There Be Light album. This patch is based on the Mesa Boogie Mark IV amp. It uses snapshots and it uses a delay, and all of that stuff came out with the 2.0 update. So if you haven't updated your Helix to 2.0, this patch will not work at all. It also uses IR cabs, and if you head to the link below, you can download it. You can download it for free. I have it set up as sort of a name your own price, and 0 is an option. So if you want to get it for free, just put $0 in the price field and don't feel bad about it. That's why I make it available. If you'd like to leave a tip, then I appreciate that very much. It uses IR cabs, and if you download the patch, I'll have a README file that'll show you exactly what the cabs are. They're from Ownhammer. One is a Mesa Boogie cab and the other one is a Vox cab. If you don't want to use those, you can just replace them with stock Helix cabs and it should sound just fine. I dialed this patch in with this PRS Custom 24. It's a 25th anniversary, which means it has the 5708 pickups, which are like PAF style, Gibson PAF style pickups. So if you have a guitar with single coils, you might need to tweak the amp just a little bit in the Helix to make it fit. If you have single coils, I would bring in more lows and mids and pull out a little bit of highs, and it should sound pretty good. And you might want to increase the gain just a bit. So it has 4 different snapshots that go along with the different parts of the song. I am assuming this song, I'm playing this song in the key of A, which is completely different than the album. Key of A is like a male-led version. On the album, it's female-led. So, but the sound should work just fine. So the first part is the verse. It's actually verse 2. There's nothing in verse 1 or chorus 1. And it's a real clean part. I play the bridge humbucker and neck single split coil position on this guitar. And it has quarter note delay. And a little bit of reverb, but not much. But really this part is just like, this sounds like this. That's all they do really on the album. How do the words go in verse 2? You didn't want heaven without us. Jesus, you brought heaven down. So it just follows that. When you hit chorus 1 is where really the more prominent part that you hear comes in. I like to go to the middle both humbucker position. It brings in a dotted 8th note delay. So you can hear that happening, and it's just this kind of picking part. On the album version, I want to say key of D would be here. Something like that, but you know, it's the same part, just down. Then for the instrumental bridge section, it keeps the delay settings and changes the gain structure just a bit. I like to go back to that almost single coil type of sound on this guitar, and there's really not anything in the instrumental guitar-wise on the album, but you can follow the piano part. So it does that, and then you do that same thing through the bridge too. When the bridge picks up and the band kicks in, I like to kind of just play these power chords. And then the last time through the bridge, if you want, you can flip to your bridge pickup position. Kind of sounds bigger. And then when the song, the next chorus after the bridge comes in and everything gets big, I just have a button called big. And you hit that, and it kicks on some more drive. And that's it. And you kind of use that throughout the rest of the song. So that's What a Beautiful Name. Now, I don't know, exactly what amps the guitar players on this album are playing. I assume it's Nigel Hindroff does most of the guitar parts, but there's probably other guitar players as well. I don't know what amps they use. You know, traditionally they use like AC30 style amps. I don't know what guitars they're using on this album. And I didn't try to match the tone just like exactly what I heard, but this I think sounds pretty close. I really love this Mesa Boogie Mark IV amp model in the Helix. I think it does like an AC30 chimey thing a little bit. It's not nearly as kind of shrill as an AC30 can be, so it's a little bit warmer. I really like it, and I think it's kind of a sweet spot that nails a lot of these tones really well. And it works well with all the different guitars I have. I have guitars with single coils and with humbuckers, and I just really like it with all those different kinds of guitars. What I really go for on these patches is to kind of get the delay sounds and the drive types of sounds. And I kind of tend toward more drive than not most of the time. I think sometimes I probably have a little bit too much drive or too much grit in my tones. So you can dial those back as you see fit. You can also go to worshiptutorials.com and see a lesson where I teach how to play this song and a playthrough with this patch showing you how it sounds in the mix. But another couple things I want to mention is every patch that I have, even with snapshots enabled, you have access to this Ambient Swell button. And so, like, say you finish the song and your worship leader is talking or praying, or your pastor comes up and you want to do some swells, this button just turns on a bunch of reverb and delay, and a shimmer reverb as well. And so you can swell with it using the volume pedal here, and it sounds like this. You might not want that much drive, so you could go like down to the chorus setting and turn it on. That's a little better. Sometimes a lot of drive is cool with it, but it's just a really big wet, and you turn it off and it trails, or it has tails, I guess is what they call it. Is it tails or trails? I'll have to look in there and see what they call it, but you can turn them on and off if you want. You can also use this patch not in snapshot mode and just use it as, I set up my Helix as like a pedal board going into an amp. So you have access to all the effects. So you've got a Timmy, you've got a Klon, a Tube Screamer. This button right here turns the drive up and down on the amp. So when it's off, the amp is just clean. I'll give you just the basic clean tone of the amp. Turn the volume up. So that's what the basic clean sound is like. If you turn this drive on, it just gives it a little more juice. And you've got plate reverb, which is real subtle. This cave reverb gives you a little more. You can hear it there. And then the swells, and then you've got dotted eighth note delay, quarter note delay, and you have access to the looper as well. So I hope this patch is helpful for you. Like I said, you don't need to use it for Beautiful Name. You can go out of snapshot mode and just use it as a kind of stomp box mode. So thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.